Hi folks, Chris here. Today I'm talking about pentatonic superimposition. So what is pentatonic superimposition? Well, you are superimposing different pentatonic scales over particular chords. So there are a ton of ways to use this. Really, there's no rules. If it sounds good, you can do it, of course. But I'll just give you a few guidelines to start you off. Now, remember in our diatonic chord harmony, we have 3 minor chords in our chord scale. So if we take the key of C, for example, we've got a C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and back to C. So our D, E and A chords are all minor. That means that if you come across any of those chords in a chord progression, you can play obviously the minor pentatonic of that chord, but also the minor pentatonics of the other 2 chords in that harmony scale. So in the solo at the beginning of the video, I was playing over an A minor vamp, and I used the A minor pentatonic, the D minor pentatonic, and the E minor pentatonic. Now each of those will give you a different flavor. So if I play my loop here again and play the A minor pentatonic, that is the minor pentatonic of that chord. So that sounds very natural. That's using all of the notes of the chord. In the scale, you've got the root note of the chord that I'm playing over, the minor third, the 4th, and the 5th, and the minor 7th of that chord. So all of those notes sound very natural. If I play a minor pentatonic off the 5th, starting on the 5th of that chord, in this case that's the E minor pentatonic, and that will give me the notes of the chord, the 5th, the 7th, the root, the 9th or 2nd, we skip over the minor third, and we've got the 4th again. So that has all of the same notes as the previous pentatonic. You are just replacing the minor third with the 2nd or the 9th. So that sounds like this. So that also sounds quite natural. It's got a little bit more tension than the previous pentatonic, but it's also a little bit brighter in a way because of that 9th. To me, it's very reminiscent of the Doors, and overall it's a really cool sound to switch back and forth between. Now, lastly, in this case, we have a pentatonic built off the 4th of the chord we're playing over. So a minor pentatonic built off the 4th will give us these notes. Of the scale, the 4th degree, the flat 6th, the minor 7th, the flat 7th, the root note, and the minor third. And that sounds like this over our vamp. So quite a bit more tension in that one compared to the previous two, and that's because it doesn't contain the fifth of the chord. Aside from the root note of the chord, the fifth is the next natural resolution point of any chord or scale. So that's a really cool flavor to use to create some tension, but then you want to alternate back to one of the other two pentatonics or just put in that natural fifth to resolve whatever phrase you're playing. So that was just one example of minor pentatonic superimposition. There's obviously a lot more you can do with that. Have a play around with it, experiment. You can use the minor pentatonics, the major pentatonics. The example I gave was treating the chord as if it were a sixth chord. So an A minor in the case of a C major key. You can obviously do the same thing for a 2 chord or a 3 chord. Like I said, there are no rules. Experiment, see what works for you, find something cool that sounds like you, and most importantly, have fun with it. Remember to like and subscribe, drop a comment if you've got any questions or suggestions, and I'll see you in the next video.